Dear fellow citizens of the world, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick. I'm a career and performance coach. And on this channel, we talk about career, mindset, and personal growth. And today we're going to talk about how to be more resilient, how to enjoy the journey, not focusing too much on the outcome, and truly understand how much we are capable of. I just want to share my story a bit regarding what happened in the past few days. Usually from a background perspective, when I try to do something, when I try to work on some goals, one day works great. Everything seems to be aligned. Everything seems to be falling into place naturally. You know, you get that drive, that motivation. You don't really think. Everything feels smooth. The day goes by very quickly. And so you feel proud of yourself. You feel self-fulfillment. You feel that you've achieved everything that you wanted to achieve. And usually that's what happens for me. I have a list of things that I want to do. I just go through the list. It feels natural. And, you know, getting into the flow, some things that we've discussed before, when you're so focused that you don't see anything else outside, you get no distractions. You are fully into your little world. And when you're inside that world, nothing else really matters just because you are so focused and dedicated. These are some rare occurrences for sure. And I don't know about you, but for me, being in that zone of flow of focus does not happen so often, unfortunately. Usually when a day goes very well, everything falls into place, everything feels natural. I go to sleep at night, you know, reflecting on what I've done throughout the day, being proud of myself and feeling grateful to the way things worked. And so the natural thing to do is to think, okay, tomorrow I'll just wake up and do the same. And everything will feel amazing, everything will feel great. But most of the time, the next day is never as good, or actually it's far worse than the previous one. And I'm still trying to understand why that is, but my understanding of it would be that, first of all, I burned a lot of energy physically and mentally to achieve those things. Second of all, I think it comes down to expectations. And this word right there, expectation, it's something I've been struggling with for so many years. I always wonder why. I always wonder how you can make things work in a way that you want to plan things, you want to kind of visualize them, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be exactly as you visualize them. And usually, actually, it feels like it's completely different from what you had in mind in the first place. So for me, after this great day of productivity, of inspiration, I expect it to be the same the next time. And unfortunately, it's not. Why? My conclusion so far has been that maybe I don't put as much effort as I should, because I believe that if it could have happened today, it will happen tomorrow again. But the way I made it happen yesterday, it's because I really went all in. And when you have some small victories, which is the difficult part about reaching objectives and feeling proud of yourself, enjoying and savoring those victories, is that we tend to believe that once you achieve a little bit, naturally, we're going to take a bit of a laid back position. Subconsciously or not, we feel like we have achieved a great thing. Maybe we feel a bit arrogant about the victory, or we feel that now if I can do it once, I can do it twice. That fact right there is that I'm not going to put as much effort as I did the first time, because I am under the impression that I'm already on it. So the point here is that I can never make one day great and then the second is as great as the previous one. Until last week. And I don't know exactly what happened last week. I'm still trying to figure out. So let me share with you as it worked out, because I'm going to draw the lessons from this. I was preparing a workshop, a webinar. It really required a lot of focus and a lot of energy. And because I hadn't done it in a while, it didn't feel natural anymore. It was as if I was relearning how to do it. And I've done countless presentations before, workshops. Obviously, before was more face-to-face and not as much online. But I've done it before. I know the preparation steps, the rehearsal, the performance, the stress that goes along with the whole process. And this time, it's been such a long time that it took me some time to readjust and to understand again how to make this work, where to start, how to make it flow. And so it took a lot of focus. And resilience-wise, man, that was difficult. Just because every time I felt I was getting somewhere, I realized I was just making a tiny step towards the main objective. The funny part about this is that I really tested my resilience. And again, this skill is something that I truly try my best to work on and improve every day. Resilience, patience, dedication, and more focus. And so that's exactly what happened last weekend. I was able to do it once. And every time I felt tired, I felt I wanted to stop and try to get distracted on social media or watching some videos. I was able to, take a step back and see the main purpose of why was I doing this presentation in the first place. And I realized it was going to be fun. It was going to bring my experience to people who actually need it. So I felt like, you know what, let's put aside my little capricious behavior and let's try to make this work. And so for one day it worked, 2 days, 3 days. And honestly, 3 days in a row, I felt everything was falling into place. And it never happened before. And I was even wondering why, when is it going to crash again? Because I felt like I was flying. And in this case, you don't count hours anymore. You just go for it and realize this is what you're supposed to do in the first place. You don't worry about running out of energy. You don't worry about being bored. You don't worry about finding meaningless attitude in the process. You just go for it. And 3 days in a row, which for me is a huge accomplishment, and I'm very grateful. So again, I'm embracing it, I'm savoring it. But day number 4, it crashed. I should have expected it. And somehow I felt like physically and mentally I was exhausted, especially after the workshop. I felt like I spent a lot of energy giving my best and not really wonder and worry about whether or not the next day will be better. Obviously, focusing on the task at hand. And so the lesson here is that you can grow your resilience. You can grow your patience. You can understand that step by step, it's easier to make things work, but you're still human. And therefore, physically and mentally, you're going to need your rest. You're going to need to take a step back and process everything. And I believe that's what happens when I was having a great day and then the next day would suck. It's because I had spent so much energy, mental and physical, and maybe I was just enjoying it so much that I didn't care about the next step. But when you see it as a long-term journey, when you see it as the process of growing and elevating yourself each and every time, though considering the fact that you're going to need to take breaks along the way, then 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row can work out very well. But at some point, remember when you feel that you need that break. And you don't need to set records or break records. You just need to make sure that you fully align with yourself, understand why you do things, and take the time to process them, digest them, because this is the time when really you can reflect on things and in the future grow that much further. So for me, it was a great accomplishment. I was so happy that I could do 3, 4 days in a row, full power, full intensity, full focus, full of energy and dedication. But after the performance, obviously, I could sense that this was not going to be that sustainable. And that's fine because I had reached a mini step and I needed that break, that rest to again climb up again and get to the next level. So it was a great accomplishment for me. I'm very excited and I want to see how I can translate that again next time for what project. And my question to you would be, what are you working on right now? And how do you plan to get where you want to be? Are you the type of person that can be doing a lot of things at the same time? Or are you going to dedicate fully to one thing? And then obviously make sure you don't run out of energy. So when do you take breaks? When do you process all the progress, the information that you're getting along the way? And how do you make it work? Thank you so much for watching and I see you again on our next video.